You're around 8 years old in a small coastal town during a century no one remembers anymore, when a stranger in a jade-green cloak stops in front of your family's wooden house. She doesn't say her name, doesn't say why she's there. She just crouches to your height, tilts your chin left and right, examines your hands, checks the shape of your ears, and taps your forehead like she's testing the ripeness of a fruit. You stand there, confused, trying not to blink too loudly. Minutes later, your parents are whispering in the corner, glancing at you like you've suddenly become a very complicated math problem. When the woman places a pouch of coins on the table, your mother gasps, your father nods, and before you know what's happening, you're lifted into a lacquered carriage that smells like tea leaves and old wood. Congratulations. Apparently you've been chosen. For what? No one bothers to explain. The first night in your new life, you sit on a cushion the size of a disgruntled pancake, staring at the sliding door, wishing it would open and reveal your old life. Instead, it opens to reveal something else entirely. A woman so striking, you momentarily forget how breathing works. Her skin is powdered pale, her lips painted like a small flame, her hair arranged into a tower that looks like it breaks several laws of architecture. She smells like flowers and walks like she's gliding. Awe floods your brain, until she says, "Don't stare, bring me warm water." Dream shattered, reality installed. Within hours, you're informed you now belong to a house dedicated to the art of presence, whatever that means. You quickly learn your ranking, somewhere between the broom and the leftover rice. Other children your age play games outside. You learn how to kneel until your legs forget they ever had bones. When you accidentally refer to the women as performers, the house elder snaps her fan at you so sharply, the air itself flinches. Performers, she repeats. Those exist in markets. We are Orikai. Learn the difference or clean the courtyard until the moon rises. Lesson understood. 4 months pass and you master useful skills like walking silently, exhaling without being noticed, and appearing behind someone so quietly they question their sanity. You've been tapped, swatted and flicked with fans for crimes like breathing too confidently and existing at the wrong volume. One evening you're ordered to serve tea to a guest who looks important enough to own at least 15 umbrellas. Your hands tremble so violently, the liquid in the cup turns into its own ocean. Don't spill, don't spill. Somehow, miraculously, you place the cup correctly, then instinctively rotate it so the painted crane faces the guest. Just like you've watched the Orikai do. The elder raises an eyebrow. One of the senior women actually looks at you, really looks, not through you. "This one learns," she says. 3 words, that's all. But it feels like someone handed you a small piece of the moon. Of course, you still sleep on a futon so thin it technically counts as a suggestion. Let's not get dramatic. Years roll by. Your back naturally curves into the perfect bowing angle. Your mornings begin before the sun even decides to get up. You balance books on your head while walking across the room. Upgrade to 2 books, then a bowl of water. Spill a drop? Start over. Your neck could probably support a roof beam by now. Afternoons are filled with string instrument practice that turns your fingertips into tiny battlefields. Your teacher is older than every wall in the building, yet her aim with the training stick is legendary. Miss a note, and she smacks the air next to your hand. Not enough to hurt, just enough to shame your soul. Dinner includes etiquette drills, how to pour drinks without splashing, how to compliment someone's accomplishments without knowing or caring what they do, which topics are safe, which are forbidden. There are hundreds of those. Somehow you memorize them all. By the time you reach your mid-teens, you can identify any Orikai's rank by the colors on her sash and the way she holds her fan. Completely useless outside this house. Absolute gold inside it. Then the elder calls all apprentices to the main hall. 4 enter. Only 1 will move on to formal mastery training. Your pulse thunders so loudly, the girl next to you glances over. When the elder points at you, you almost faint on the spot. You made it. The next years blur together in a whirl of advanced lessons. Dances so intricate your feet develop opinions. Music so demanding your fingertips alternate between bleeding and rebuilding themselves like stubborn soldiers. You're sculpted, refined, reshaped, until your every movement becomes deliberate, graceful, almost unreal. Finally, your debut approaches. The day before it, 3 senior Orikai inspect you from head to toe, murmuring things like good lines, steady posture, and light frame easier for the robes. You stand there feeling less like a human and more like a piece of furniture being evaluated. Transformation day arrives. Thick white makeup is spread over your face, cool at first, then suffocating. Your hair is pulled and twisted into a structure so solid it could probably withstand a storm. Pins, hundreds of them, are pushed into place. Each one stings. You mentally name the worst one the betrayer. You're dressed in a robe so heavy it feels like wearing someone's entire inheritance. Sandals raise you several inches off the ground, turning, walking into an extreme sport. Your mentor escorts you to your first event. Remember, she murmurs, you're not here to be adored. You're here to create a feeling people didn't know they missed. Your first guest is a merchant whose smile arrives before he does. You pour his drink as practiced. He comments on your calm presence. Your mentor redirects the conversation with a perfectly timed laugh. Afterwards, she tells you, attention is valuable. Guard yours carefully. Months pass, then years. You live 2 lives. Public you, flawless, serene, never sweating, never stumbling. Private you, collapsing onto your futon at night, hairpins stabbing your dreams. Debt hangs over you like a ghost. Every robe, lesson, ornament, all added to a ledger you're told not to worry about. When you ask how long until you pay it off, the elder laughs so hard she nearly chokes on her tea. You learn survival tricks, how to appear like you're drinking when you're not, how to steer a conversation without steering it, how to make someone feel understood without agreeing to anything. People start giving you nicknames like the quiet flame and the one who listens. You're exhausted but respected. One night, a traveling performer from the capital attends an event. Impressed by your presence, he leaves a payment so generous even the elder blinks in shock. A week later, she gives you a small carved hairpin, your first personal item. You earned this, she says. A single sentence, yet it feels like someone handed you your own future. You rise in rank. Your style shifts from dazzling to refined. You negotiate your own schedule. You choose which gatherings to attend. You learn the art of silence, the kind that speaks louder than words. At 20-something, you're entrusted with guiding a new apprentice. She's nervous, clumsy, full of questions you once had. You hear your younger self in her voice and catch yourself repeating lessons exactly the way they were once given to you. When you finally pay off your debt, the elder hands you the cleared ledger. Now, she says, you work for yourself. The words hit harder than expected. You almost cry into your tea. Years continue. Your joints protest more loudly. Kneeling becomes a negotiation with your own body. You adjust, learn to hide discomfort behind flawless posture. Eventually, you open a small tea house, your own space. You lower the lights, choose the colors, select soft instruments for the background. Patrons line up outside because of your reputation. You don't need to accept everyone. You set boundaries. You protect your peace. Some Orikai retire by marrying. Others open full houses. You choose independence. Our painter creates a mural featuring you among symbols of tradition, and for the first time you understand, you've become part of something larger than yourself. Decades later, while tourists whisper that your art is fading, you simply smile. They don't see the students waiting at your door. They don't hear the music still echoing in the halls. They don't understand that tradition doesn't vanish, it transforms. Late one evening, sitting alone in your quiet room, you touch the faint lines near your eyes and think about the child you once were, the frightened, confused little soul carried away in a carriage so many years ago. You whisper to that child across time, "We did well, you're no relic. You're a living bridge between what was and what still matters." And every early morning, every aching knee, every careful bow led you here, to a life you never chose but ultimately shaped into your own masterpiece.